Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm of course the Battle Room, and today I'm joined by Raghav. How you doing, buddy?
Colin, my spirits could not be higher because my boy Colin Hire just top cut the Seattle Regionals, and we're here to break down his top four set. Congrats again, dude. I'm so proud of you. And I think this is great for the channel. You get to see the Battle Room live in action at tournaments, showing them how it's done.
Yeah, I got a lot of stream sets, honestly. I am actually in incredibly low spirits last night. I had some sort of crazy ass food poisoning, so I did throw up, I think 5 times in the last 12 hours. So we're going to break it down though. I'm here. I'm ready to watch my match versus Sebastian in top 4 of the regional. So we're going to break it down, and that's why Raghav's going to help me here today.
Dude, nothing is more important than getting this done. So you don't half-ass anything. Even throwing up, you do it 5 times. Just once? Dude, that's weak.
Yeah, dude, I was in there throwing up, and I was just like, give me a harder battle, you know? Like, give me more. I can handle more.
This is light work, dude.
Light work, dude. So, Sebastian was not light work, though. This matchup was very, very scary. Going into this one, I kind of wanted Terran to win, because I was like, I played him in Swiss. The matchup isn't perfect there either, but I was like, I'd rather know what to do. I know what to do kind of into that. But Sebastian here had kind of a crazy team, and it was a team that I really didn't want to play in tournament here.
Yeah, I feel like he's running a team that is a little bit rogue, a little bit we've seen a bit of a resurgence of Rain, Archuleta on Rain, but it's still not something you're super prepared against. So we can take a closer look at the teams. But yeah, you beat Rob in top 8. Sebastian beats Taran. And it's kind of a bit of a showdown where you don't really know how this matchup's going to go. I remember talking about it with you.
Yeah.
And Sebastian just got a lot of really scary tools. So let's just break down the teams.
So first up here, we do have my team, which is, of course, this Cresselia Ursa Luna team that I featured. This is the 3rd video in a row. So if you haven't seen me break down the team, I'll break it down one more time for you. I feel like it's definitely not really a Trick Room team, but more of an Icy Wind team. It's all about abusing Icy Wind. Obviously, in certain matchups, you do have to press Trick Room, and that's okay. But all my Pokemon are incredibly fast. They're all designed to abuse Icy Wind in some degree, and I felt like Cresselia's strength was Icy Wind. I think Icy Wind is a really, really good move. Throwing it back to some 2012 Cresselia shit right there, because I felt like back then Icy Wind was just really, really good. And obviously, you don't get the benefit, usually, you don't get the benefit of the instant the speed drop, the dynamic speed. But on this team, sometimes you do, because sometimes Cresselia will slow, let's say an Ogerpon's a really good example. I Icy Wind Ogerpon turn 1, and then on the next turn, I can just spam Icy Wind, and now Ursaluna will outspeed it instantaneously. So there are some, interactions where Icy Wind does come up like that, but sometimes it's just a really good form of speed control. Cresselia is really good taunt bait, so if you're thinking about taunting Cresselia, she's like, okay, I'm down, I'll just press Icy Wind. But otherwise, I just have 4 of the strongest Pokemon in the game in Urshifu, Fluttermane, Amoonguss, and Incineroar, and I consider myself a very good bear player, and I'm kind of a bear one trick at this point. All my CP has been accumulated with the bear, so I had to lock him in here.
Yeah, I think you have just an insane amount of practice games with that bear. Even when things aren't going well, you swap teams to another bear team, so I think you really did lean into your experience, and that's the key to this format, or just VGC in general, honestly, is picking something you have a lot of comfort with. And just going back to that Icy Wind, I feel like the way you trained your team, everything's really fast, except maybe that Amoonguss. Yeah. Actually, even Amoonguss is a little fast. It's got that 12 speed EVs I told you to put in. But yeah, I think it is a really good team that kind of fronts as okay, I could set up Trick Room, but really you're just setting up Icy Wind pins. And it also allows you to run the luxury of Specs Fluttermane, which I think is so big on a lot of these bear teams that just run Torn in P2, is that Fluttermane does a lot of damage, and it's another way to hit Raging Bolt. It makes you a lot less reliant on just your Ursaluna. And I think you've mentioned it, but a lot of games you just bring Flutter, Instant, Amoonguss, or Shifu, and they're over-preparing for the bear. So I think overall this team construction is really good, and some people might think Cresselia is a shitmon, and in some ways it is, but in other ways it just does exactly what you need.
Yeah, it's very much like a matchup mon sometimes. And I've always said that, if I don't have to bring Cresselia Bear, I'm really happy. Because I think that Urshifu, Fluttermane, Amoonguss, Instant is just so broken. Against balance, I mean, the tournament's over, so I can tell you my game plan. But I always do go with those 4. And people always ask me, man, I was really covering for the bear, dude. Do you ever bring it? Literally someone at the tournament asked me, do you ever bring Cresselia Bear into balance? I go, no, never. I never intended to do that, and I never will, because I feel like those 4 Pokemon are just so good into balance. Like, it's not an auto win by any means, it's balance, right? But I think they just give you a lot of tools that you can outplay them and find that success versus that matchup.
Yeah, no, I mean, Amoonguss is so good into most of it, and Fluttermane puts on that pressure. And we already know what Instant or Shifu do. So, but the real question is, what do you do into Sebastian's team? But let's take a look at his. So Sebastian's running a really cool rain team. It's obviously got that Pelipper and Scarf or Shifu with Terra Grass, but it's also got threats like Life Orb Chien-Pao and a Specs Taunt Fluttermane. So these are some of the really interesting choices that make it weird to prepare against. Going back to that Urshifu, Terra Grass is really good because it can avoid Amoonguss when it's clicking Surging Strikes. Obviously changes the resists. Now you're not afraid of Grassy Glide. You're not weak to Colin's Fluttermane. Among other things, that Life Orb Chien-Pao is Terra Stellar with Ice Shard, Sucker Punch, and Ice Spinner. I feel like that is a really crazy set, and it like the Terra Stellar Ice Shard, I feel like it's just like, shit, is this gonna one-shot my Torn? Is this gonna one-shot Ursaluna? So I feel like there's a lot of things about this team that you just don't know what's gonna happen. Obviously, he rounds off the team with his own Amoonguss and an Archaludon with no Snarl, just Electro Shot, Dragon Pulse, Body Press, Flash Cannon, and the traditional Terra Grass. So I think it's a really cool team, and I'm honestly curious as to what his team building process was. But I think for you, it kind of provides a very unique problem, and like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, especially going into it, I talked with Alex mostly about what do we think he's gonna bring, and the first thing we thought he wasn't gonna bring was Fluttermane. We were like, we think that he has to kind of bring these 5, right? Like, these 5 are really good, and Flutter is not bad for sure, but it just doesn't add as much to the team, right? Like, Archaludon can just solo me if played correctly, if it gets going. Amoonguss is incredibly valuable. This Urshifu just destroys my team, low key. Like, not being able to redirect Surging Strike sucks. So I kind of felt like, and then obviously Chien-Pao, Pelipper are also valuable. So we kind of felt like Fluttermane wasn't going to come to the battle. So we were mostly prepping around the other guys. And honestly, I thought if we get up Trick Room, we can probably start sweeping with Ursaluna. And because he doesn't actually have much, if anything, to stop a burned Ursaluna. So it was just going to be more about how can I position Ursaluna well to get it burned, to get it in Trick Room to start sweeping.
Yeah, but then when you do run into that Chien-Pao, it's like, oh god,
Yeah.
it could Terra Stellar Ice Shard me, or it could, predict the Terra Ghost and Sucker Punch me. So
Yeah.
I think really it is trying to navigate around that POW, but also making sure you get your Ursaluna safely, and you don't proc that stamina, because like you said, it could sweep the whole thing. But I think some of the beauty in his team is that you really could bring any other Pokemon, because Fluttermane does a lot of damage, right? And we don't know how fast it is. If it's faster than yours and you get caught out of Trick Room, that's really annoying. If it's slower, that could be really annoying. So I think Sebastian has a lot of threats. He just has to position them around your Trick Room.
Exactly. So let's hop into the games here. So he's going to lead off with their Shifu Chien-Pao, which honestly I didn't fully expect, but it is very scary right off the bat. They're doing a lot of damage, and then I lead just off with Cresselia Instant. So right off the bat, though, I'm feeling kind of good, right? Like, I get to bring in, I can just fake out Trick Room, if I want to, and I can just start going with it, right? It kind of depends what he's going to do, of course. But yeah, I have multiple options here.
This is a play that I'm not really understanding, the faking out of the Chien-Pao, because it's -1, doesn't have Sacred Sword or Throat Chop, so it's not really threatening anything. I think maybe a fake out into Urshifu and Trick Room is probably your most obvious play. If not, a Terra Grass U-turn or something, but I feel like you get up Trick Room pretty safely here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was just kind of overcooking here a little bit. I feel like that is definitely the theme of this set, is that I was, at this point in the tournament, I was really confident with how I was playing, and so I was just gonna go with my gut in every scenario. I don't know why. Honestly, now that we're looking back on it, he does Surging Strikes Cresselia, so I am, I didn't get punished
I was
too
so
bad
relieved,
here.
dude.
But I do think, I should have probably just went for a fake out onto Urshifu.
Yeah, if you're not faking out Urshifu, I definitely just don't think it's a fake out into power, right? Because it's either switching or it's just switching, right? It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So, luckily you got saved there, and I think here you are in a tricky spot because that Amoonguss can kind of spore your instant slot. so you might be forced to Terra Grass. But I do feel like if you do that, you can just ignore the Amoonguss slot and blitz Psychic that Urshifu kind of freely, because what could come in and take that?
True.
Chen Pao doesn't want to take a blitz Psychic. Pelipper doesn't really want to take it, to be honest. Urshifu doesn't want to take it. The only thing I'm really concerned about is Cresselia is so weak. She is full bulk, right? And so
Yeah.
I don't even know if Blitz Psychic would even KO the Urshifu.
Yeah, that's my fear here, and that's why I kind of go with a crazy play here. I totally expected him right here to go for Spore and Surging Strikes into Cresselia to get that progress onto Cresselia. I was like, I'm going to go with my gut once again, even though it didn't work out for me turn 1. I'm going to say, hey, he's totally surging Cresselia because he wants to start whittling it down. Because I was really afraid of a surging into Cresselia into a Sludge Bomb would get the KO. So I really wanted to keep her healthy, and I kind of just went all in on this turn of saying, hey, you're going to go for Spore, and you're going to go for Surging Strikes into Cresselia. After the match, the judge actually asked me, he's like, dude, I got to ask, why did you make the play that you made? Like, in reference to this team, I got called out by the judge, right? Because I do get this Lunar Blessing off again, so I can take the Sludge Bomb more comfortably, presumably when he's Surging Strikes Cresselia, but he doesn't Surging Strikes Cresselia. He's Surging Strikes Ursaluna. So I do lose my bear right off the bat, and the judge did call me out for it.
That was a very greedy little play. I think I don't mind the Lunar Blessing, honestly, if you're predicting the Urshifu to stay in. I think you probably could have just knocked off the Ursh or something, because you also get some value if Trick Room ever goes away. Fluttermane now outspeeds it.
Right.
But yeah, I really think you just needed to stay in with Instant and abuse the fact that when he Terra Grasses, their board is pretty useless. All they can do is kind of press Sludge Bomb into your Assault Vest guy. And yeah, now Flare Blitz Psychic into that Urshifu is super free, but I believe you went for knockoff, probably not wanting to take any recoil, or
Yeah, just
if
to
you
also,
got that Pelipper.
just to punish Pelipper, I think, at this point, because I expect Pelipper to be the last Pokemon as well.
Yeah, the only thing is that it's just like a POW switch in would be tragic. It takes literally like 10%, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you kind of just take the psychic damage with the plus Flare Blitz into Pelipper. It's probably below half anyway, and it doesn't have Protect, so I feel like, yeah. This is also kind of scary for Sebastian because Amoonguss could die to a double up here. So we might see something from Sebastian, either a switch or a Terra, or just say, like, screw it, I'll just get a Sludge Bomb off, it doesn't matter. We are seeing a Terra from Amoonguss.
If I just didn't get the first 3 turns, like, just horribly wrong in any way, I think I really had a shot here because, like, I think I got them wrong just completely wrong for the first 3 turns, which is just brutal to come back from.
Yeah, I think it's what you were saying. You were feeling so confident that you were like, I'm not even going to think about what is logical here. I just want to do whatever my heart is telling me.
Yeah.
And, okay, the knockoff actually did a little bit more than I thought. But still, like, a Blitz would have been absolutely perfect there. The only thing is, of course, you would die to a Sludge Bomb the next turn.
Yeah, I think I would have had to. I think he was totally fine just saying, like, if you Flare Blitz me, it's totally chill, because I will just kill you with Sludge Bomb. So, and then the poison kind of sucks, but it's whatever, right? Like, at this point, I'm dying to Ice Shard no matter what.
I think it might have been fine if the instant died, because then you get to bring in your Fluttermane and just kind of Lunar Blessing Gleam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that Amoonguss has wasted Terra too, it's going to take a good amount. Doesn't have Citrus Berry to heal. So yeah, this spot's a little bit tricky, but you can swap in and Lunar Blessing here. Ice Shard's pretty scary.
Yeah, but the Life Orb is knocked off, and it doesn't do half, so we're chilling. And he goes for Sludge Bomb.
I forgot that the Knife Orb. Yeah, there's no Life Orb. So you're in an okay spot right now. And the funny thing is we don't know the speed stats. So I guess I assume he's probably max Adamant, or max Jolly.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to say, though. He could be. I really think he could be Adamant at this point as well.
Yeah, actually, there's no way to know that for sure. So he does go for the Ice Shard again. And the Spore.
The Spore was crazy,
Sludge Bomb. So you get a Lunar Blessing Gleam here. It's absolutely free. And I feel like at this point, you're like, wait, can I win this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, depending on what the last Pokemon is, I could win if I can position a Fake Out into Urshifu late game. Or if I just, maybe Cresselia. Yeah, set up Trick Room again, and Cresselia can go nuts with
Or
that.
an Icy Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think actually an Icy Wind here would be really big. Just so you don't even have to risk it being something stupid like the Pelipper Yeah, so I think we're gonna see the Urshifu come back in and take its free Surging Strikes onto that Flutter Mane slot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I think you definitely swap Flutter Mane out and click Icy Wind. And from there, it gets a little tricky.
It gets really like read heavy, right? Because again, we also don't even have the information of what his last Pokemon is. At this point, too, if it's Pelipper, it could come in and press Wide Guard too. Like not in this scenario per se, but like in the late game, right? It could be really obnoxious for my Flutter Mane.
Yeah, in that case, so this is a situation where I was watching this game live, right? And I was trying to come up with every single play. I was looking at every line, and I felt like you had a few options. And one of them was to Icy Wind this turn, next turn come in, and then Trick Room. Predicting like Amoonguss to protect.
Or predicting just their Shifu to swap too, to try and get that that speed control back after he does get Icy Winded.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking like a Moonblast Trick Room. And then even if they have Rage Powder active, but they have to press it, right? And so you can click Psychic twice. Which I think might kill the Urshifu. I could be wrong. Cresselia pretty weak, but
no, she too kills. She too kills.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, if you weren't poisoned, dude, you would have lived. You could have lived that turn. Obviously, we're probably gonna see the Sludge Bomb go off into Incin, but the poison there was kind of funny. We actually do see it in Cresselia. Yeah. So if you weren't poisoned, you would have lived that turn.
And then I could have had an easy like fake out. I mean, it kind of depends, right? Like, it's not necessarily
Blitz
better.
Psychic, dude. Yeah. I think it's really valuable actually to just Blitz Psychic that Urshifu, or even Knockoff. But now you get this guy to come back in, right? And hear me out. What if you do Moonblast the Urshifu, right? In Trick Room.
I definitely could here. It kind of depends what I think he's gonna do, right? Like, cause he's stressing. We're both stressing at this point, because again, we don't know what his last guy is. So, like, depending on if it's Pelipper or something, it could feel really bad if I do lock into Gleam. I will just kind of lose the game potentially. Well, I guess technically not, because I could just Gleam Psychic the Urshifu, and then I would be chilling as well. But maybe it was just to go for the Moonblast angle here. But I do get the Gleam. I do KO the Urshifu, and we set up Trick Room, so now I can continuously wake up Flutter Mane with Lunar Blessing. I feel like Lunar Blessing never gets to pop off this hard. Like, it's very rare that you get to see it be broken, but I think in this specific matchup with what's going on right now, Lunar Blessing is actually so OP and so good right now.
Yeah, what's like really crucial is Sebastian doesn't have Knockoff anywhere to get rid of the goggles. Otherwise, you can easily just knock off the goggles and Spore. And we see Sebastian didn't bring Pelipper, but brought that Flutter Mane. The fabled Flutter Mane we said that maybe he doesn't bring. And now the question's like, who's faster? Can you even win?
And he does go for Sludge Bomb here, which honestly, if I had went for Psychic, it probably would have been... I would have been in a much better spot, right? I would have had one more Psychic onto Flutter Mane. But also, maybe I don't live a Shadow Ball then. But this Gleam does pick up...
Maybe you don't need to. Maybe you just need to Dazzling Gleam Psychic, right?
Yeah.
But man, actually, I don't think that takes it out, right? We're gonna find out very shortly. We see Shadow Ball takes out Flutter Mane. And yeah, you just need to live 2 Shadow Balls, which is like... Or sorry, you need a 2-shot with Psychic, and or live 2 Shadow Balls, which is impossible.
And Cresselia is very weak.
Yeah, I think no matter what, you just needed a special defense drop.
Or a crit on one of them, right? Because it honestly gets like... It does so little on this one, right? And then this Shadow Ball comes through. Yeah, I wouldn't have lived if I didn't use Lunar Blessing there. So it wouldn't have changed up too much here. I would have just had an extra Psychic. And now I get the second Psychic off. And he unfortunately lives. And if I crit, got the special defense drop, obviously I win. But yeah, it honestly came back after kind of a crazy 3-turn sequence of just playing poorly. I did almost win, right? With a little bit of luck.
Yeah, I feel like you got every turn wrong. You lost your Earth Spooner for free, and it was still so close. Like just a slightly different damage roll, or I mean, what could you have really done otherwise? Like, I don't think Moonblast was really saving you at all.
No, I think it just came down to
Flutter Mane in the back.
How much damage I could do with the Cresselia, right? Like, I just needed to try and get that KO. Because yeah, the Trick Room Flutter Mane actually went kind of crazy there with Lunar Blessing.
Yeah, and now you know that you're the slower Flutter Mane as well. So Sebastian's got really fast Pokemon. Because your Flutter Mane's not even that slow. It's kind of like a modest Flutter Mane.
No, it's still
It
timid.
is timid. So the Trick Room is definitely the strategy here. But like, even though you're down 0-1, how do you feel you are doing drip wise? Like, are you winning?
Drip-wise, I feel pretty confident, dude. Anytime there's a play Pokemon shirt, I'm feeling pretty good in the drip-wise, right? I did opt to run a Pokemon shirt of my own, which, you know, it's a little bit of a negative drip points. But at the same time, I know they're letting me wear that on stage, so it works out.
Well, don't get too lost in the sauce. I feel like it's an active choice because you know they'll let you wear it, and it's a pretty fire shirt. It's from the last World Championships, right?
Yep. I'm a big fan of it. All right, so he's gonna lead with Urshifu plus Fluttermane here into Cresselia and Sin once again. Now the thing is I am thinking about fucking taunt, but at the same time, if he were to rip a Specs taunt here, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So I do believe I just press trigger him because I'm like, dude, just do it. Like,
Yeah.
just Specs taunt, dude. Like, it's not a huge deal. I can just Terra Instant next turn and be chilling. But it is still, I am going to pay a pretty hefty price on Cresselia here to eat this Shadow Ball. If that's what he opted to go for. I could Terra, but like, it's kind of just not worth it. Did I go for Icy Wind? Oh no,
I think you definitely put Trick in here and just fake out the Urshifu. But I do respect the potential Terra Steel. I think you can Terra Steel if you know that this Urshifu is gonna go down to Flare Blitz Psychic after Fake Out. Because then your Cresselia is actually sitting quite pretty, and I don't think Sebastian has a lot of ways to hit it. Sludge Bomb can no longer touch it.
Yeah.
Ice Shard Sucker Punch obviously does nothing. And with the Urshifu gone, I feel like Cresselia is just looking really nice, and it would eat another one of these.
Yeah, I mean, I go for the Terra Grass here just because I'm like, I don't think this is going to kill. And so I think I'm just going to rip the Flare Blitz Psychic and just try to do as much damage as I can. But I also think maybe there's a shot here because it is a...
Glass Urshifu.
And it did take out the Fake Out chip, right? That's where I'm like, dude, maybe, right? Because if I know this is going to kill, I shouldn't Terra ever. But I don't know that. So I'm like, let's lock it in. Let's just Flare Blitz. I mean, like, dude, he kind of ate that Flare Blitz. I had no clue. Like, I thought this was definitely not killing because Cresselia is so fucking weak. But Cresselia clutches up.
I was a little shocked. Yeah, I was a little shocked.
Dude, I mean, like, you can see it in the player cam, dude. Like, I literally, like, my head, I go like, what? Like, I'm confused
like,
too.
Okay.
I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take a KO on the Urshifu there. And then we are going to get Shadow Ball here. And now, unfortunately, my Incineroar is in potential Shadow Ball. Like, he can be Shadow Ball now, right?
Yeah, for pretty good damage. I think the big thing is that Chien-Pao can Ice Shard you. And
True.
I don't know how much that shit does with Terra Stellar and Life Orb, you know?
Yeah.
So you're in a bit of a tricky spot, sticky wickets, as the British say. And I feel like Ursaluna can come in. You have the Terra Grass, so Mungus isn't the biggest problem in the world, even though Sebastian does switch it in. I feel like you could protect Blitz this Flutter, and like there's a strong chance it could die. It seems Glass, and you're Adamant, right?
I am Adamant. I also thought about pressing Headlong Rush. I really did, because it's so obvious that Ursaluna is going to protect. But at the same time, if I do eat the Spore, I think the game is over. I think I just auto-lose. So that's why I wasn't willing to, like, make that play. When, like, it does feel like he could totally just Sludge Bomb me, though.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's a risk that you could take, but isn't necessary. At this point in the game, you could either Blitz, or you could swap out your Ensign to get Intimidate in for the end game.
True.
But I feel like Blitz might just KO this Fluttermane. What did you end up going for here?
I totally don't remember. Do I go for Blitz? I go for Blitz.
You do go for the Blitz. Into the Flutter, and it just barely eats it. Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of
Carson, the guy who won the regional, was running 196 Adamant Instant. I think that would have taken out this Fluttermane. And without that poison, oh my god, would have lived the turn.
Yep. So it was a little unfortunate there, but Instant goes down again to his poison. But now I have Ursaluna. It can kind of potentially do its thing. I do think there are potential win cons for me, but it is going to be really hard, right? Because Fluttermane is going to sleep. I'm probably going to need some sort of first turn wake to get myself out of this one.
Yeah, and if the Instant lived, you could have EQ'd, or even if you knocked off knowing that Blitz wasn't going to kill, predicting the Flutter to stay in. another really good spot for you. But now it's just like, is this Flutter staying in?
Yeah, if Instant was alive, it would be really nice to just press Earthquake here. You know, like it would be pretty chill.
Yeah, but I think they have a really safe play in just clicking Spore Shadow Ball. Because, like, what are
Yeah.
you supposed to do into that, really?
So now I have to press Headlong Rush because I don't really want to kill my own Flutter Mane with Earthquake.
Well,
And
how
I
many turns
can't-
of Trip are left? Is it 2 or 1?
I think there's one more after this turn.
Yeah, then you just don't really have a great play. Because the next turn you can just protect and then Ice Spinner you.
Exactly. So, I mean, at this point, my thought process too was like, hey, if I get the first turn Wake and he is Adamant POW, maybe I got a shot, right? Like, if he is Adamant POW, I think I could win here. So he brings in that POW, and now it's like, I'm like, all right, this is the easiest double protect of your life, most likely. I did think about pressing Earthquake. I really did. I was like, should I EQ? Should I just risk the whole game right here? Because, like, I am just going to lose if I don't get the first turn Wake. But I was like, you know what? Maybe the first turn Wake could win, right? Like, maybe I just rely on the first turn Wake, and that's really my only option.
Yeah, and I think this is a really smart play from Sebastian in some ways. But the
Yeah.
EQ is just so scary, man. Because, like, I feel like you're never going to press that. You're just too afraid.
Yeah, I think I am. And I think, like, he correctly reads, like, I kind of played, I think, pretty scared throughout the set. And so I think in this turn he does go for the sucker. And EQ, I think, would have gotten the KO with the Life Orb tick. So it does kind of suck that I did have the potential to win here. Because this is the last turn of Trick Room. So then he just lives. I mean, even if it wasn't, right, he can just protect. So he's got a lot
Or
of
Ice
options
Shard
here.
you, dude, because
Yeah.
you're -1.
Yeah. And he used the Dark Sucker, and so now all he has to do is press Ice Spinner. But yeah, I really do think the EQ was like a potential play, and it was kind of smart on him for calling, like, he's not going to go for it. I'm just going to take my KO right here, because he kind of knows I feel corralled into a certain play. So he kind of abused that, and then, yeah, now he just presses Ice Spinner, and the game is cooked.
Yeah, I think this is not an unwinnable matchup by any means, but Sebastian played like exactly how he needed to, and I feel like you just weren't really recognizing what you needed to do in the first game in the early turns, and
Yeah.
it's tricky playing against something that you've never seen, and that's why Sebastian was able to go so far with such a unique team.
Yeah, dude, congrats to him. Like, he played incredibly well. He's a really nice guy. We spoke a little bit before the game. And, yeah, I mean, he played exceptionally well with a team that I didn't expect to play in the tournament. So, huge shout-outs to him for getting second place. It was actually a really fun set to watch because, like, I did make a lot of misplays. And, like, I did learn a lot just watching the games back, being like, all right, what did I do wrong here? And I think I flew a little too close to the sun, and that's okay. I mean, I'll learn for next time, and because I just don't. I feel like when I played the other Top Cut sets, I played very, very cleanly. You know, like I felt like I was covering for almost every option they could do. But in this one, it just kind of went out the window, and I kind of played kind of bad.
Dude, I literally told you while we were walking to the stage, I was like, in the last few sets, dude, you've been making really good plays, like not getting ahead of yourself, trying to just win on the spot. You were like,
Yeah.
no, he could wake up, I'm going to play safe. I said, just keep doing that. And then instantly,
I instantly
everything
just shut my
changed.
brain off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which, you know, I'm still so proud of you. Huge shout outs. Battle Room Nation is up, dude.
Let's
So,
go.
We'll take it. We'll take the top 4. I think you basically have your invite locked. I need to take
should
some
be
lessons
pretty
from
good.
Colin, something I never thought I would say. So, yeah.
But yeah, I can't complain. I mean, the run was awesome. I got to do it with one of my favorite teams that I've used in Scarlet and Violet, and this is probably my last Scarlet and Violet tournament, hopefully. So, I mean, I'm really happy I got to end it on, you know, a medal. So, but thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for the support. It was nice to meet you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.